I'm Dr. Bingaman from ABQ Pet Care, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about heartworm tests as well as heartworm preventative. A lot of times we have clients coming in with their pets asking, why do we need to do a heartworm test every year, and why do we need to have them on heartworm prevention? There is this myth that we don't have mosquitoes here, but the fact is that we have mosquitoes in Albuquerque. If you've never gone outside and had in the summer and had a mosquito bite, then you have to know that there's mosquitoes in our area. Now, with heartworm disease, it's essentially a mosquito will bite a dog and inject it with something called microfilaria, which is the heartworm. Then that dog will be carrying it. Another mosquito will bite that dog, then go bite another dog, and then infect it, and then it goes on from there. So we want to do a heartworm test every year because we want to know their status. And it's a very simple test. What we do is we bring your pet back and we use what's called a snap test. And it involves us just taking 3 drops of blood from your dog. We got this from one of our patients. And then we have this blue solution. And all I'm going to do is I take the blood and I do 3 drops. 1, 2, and 3. And then I just give it a little bit of a shake. And then right here in the test, I'll put that right in there. And then that's going to start to move the blood forward. So I'm waiting for that blood to go all the way to the end. And the nice thing about the test at ABQ Pet Care, it's called a 4DX. And what it tests for is heartworm disease and 3 different kinds of tick-borne diseases. Ticks are also another huge issue that we have in New Mexico, and we want to test them for that because sometimes pets will not show that they have tick disease. So right now, as you can see, that blood has moved through the test. So I'm going to go ahead and snap it, and that's going to take about 10 minutes for it to run. So I'm going to let that go there. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about what is heartworm disease. Well, that microfilaria, those little worms that are in the blood, over time they reproduce and they become very large, and they like to hang out in the heart, because especially on the right side of the heart, because it's low flow area. So these worms can go through all the different vessels and fill the heart, and essentially the heart cannot pump, and therefore it's life-threatening. They can die. If they need heartworm treatment, that can be very expensive, anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 plus to get this treated. And it's not a treatment that's a one-time treatment. It's something that we have to give over a course of 4 months. And if it's not working, then we have to do it again. So doing a little heartworm test will really help out with just preventing it and getting your dog and making sure that they're healthy. So that's a picture of that. Heartworm prevention, really easy. A lot of dogs love it, and cats too. We have what's called HeartGuard, and essentially it's a little beef chew that they take once a month, and they even have these cool little stickers you can put on your calendar. You give them a chew once a month. You can pick the day of your birthday, you can pick the first of the month, and they get one once a month, and then now they're protected against heartworm disease as well as common parasites. So we highly recommend that. In some patients that maybe they have a food allergy or cats, we do have something that's more topical. You put this on the fur in between the skin, and it protects against heartworm disease as well as intestinal parasites. Because our pets, they go outside, they eat things that we don't know what they're eating. Critters come through the backyard, other cats, and maybe they eat their stool, so they could get infected with worms, and that's intestinal worms. So these are the products that we have. So we have some that are just for 6 months, and we have some that are for a year. And I'll tell you what, having them on these products is by far pays for itself, and heaven forbid, it's much, much cheaper than the treatment of heartworm disease itself. So the other thing is, so what we want to do is that these products are guaranteed. So if heaven forbid that your pet gets heartworm disease and they have a current heartworm test, the company will pay for the treatment, and you can't get anything better than that. Also, we just want to identify their status every year. Now, as far as the test goes, right now we're just waiting for it to finish. But we should see a blue dot here pop up soon. That's our control dot. And then if there is any, if it's positive, we'll see other dots here. I just want to, while we're still waiting for this test, I just want to briefly say that we will recommend it when you come in, and it's fairly inexpensive. We think that heartworm disease is extremely preventative, and a few things have been happening in New Mexico that I want to bring to your attention. Before, heartworm disease was not very prevalent here in New Mexico or Albuquerque. In the last 3 months, we've had 5 heartworm positive dogs. And the reason for that is, last summer we had 2 huge hurricanes, Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma, and that's in Texas and in Florida. And essentially those are very high heartworm prevalent areas. So essentially if those pets are not on heartworm prevention, they have heartworm disease. A lot of these dogs, because they were displaced from their home, they came here to New Mexico and they found new homes. Well now, because of that, if they have heartworm disease, they're now starting to pass it to our pets. So this summer, if your pet is not protected against heartworm disease, it takes about 6 months for it to test positive. So we're projecting that next winter, we may be getting a lot more heartworm positive dogs and cats. So please, 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 I highly recommend that you get your dog heartworm tested and then get them on heartworm prevention. So let's go ahead and take a look back at that test. So now we have the blue dot, which is awesome, and everything else is negative. So our patient is negative for heartworm disease as well as tick-borne diseases, so that's very great. So I just want to end with, please give us a call at 299-VETS. That's 299-8387. Have your pet come in. It's a quick 3 drops of blood, and we can get your pet protected against heartworm disease and intestinal parasites. We can't wait to see your pets, and thank you so much for choosing ABQ Pet Care. Have a great day.